Hello there, friends. It's Friday afternoon. Been working on the old house, getting ready to go pick up my son. He's at the teen center, and before I go, I thought I would sit down and make a video. I've been meaning to do this today. Just a couple things that have been on the top of my mind, but often when I make a video, it's usually a topic that I was just thinking about that day. And then there are other topics I think about every day that I never talk about. Just because it opens up such a can of worms, Can of worms isn't so bad if you're going fishing, I guess. God, can of worms sounds nice. Sit out there on the canoe. Anyway, we're gonna bypass the fishing memories and go straight into the point, which is God. The topic I don't discuss is God, because God to me is so personal, not just to me, obviously, but knowing how personal God is to each other individual. And the message that in my experience, in my communion with what I call God, the messages that I've received about what's important. And there was a time when I was in, I guess you would call it like a kind of a degree of rapture, like direct connection. Just gnosis is how it would have been defined in the past, but just some people would call it downloads. But I really don't like the airy-fairy new age, bullshit. I just like to say people have experiences that are very important to them, regardless of whether it's just, a delusion or whatnot. But if you've ever had a very spiritual experience, the reason why people define it that way is because it's unexplainable, and it puts you in direct awareness with things that you ordinarily, in normal states of consciousness, never consider, yet you're absolutely sure those are true. And even when you come down or get back into your normal state of mind, you realize, oh my God, I should have known that the whole time. So there was one particular time where I was intentionally going into like this meditative state where I'd said some words beforehand, like a prayer and whatnot, declared my intentions. And I was at this point where I was fairly convinced, I should say, I was 100% convinced that I was in direct communion with a higher power. I'd say at this point I don't necessarily believe in just a God, but many gods, many different levels, and I'm not here to define that. Plenty have tried, and I've realized it just doesn't matter. I don't need to map out things I don't understand. I'll figure it out soon enough, or not. But this connection where I was finally like in the presence of this great power, and it doesn't come in necessarily words, but ideas. And the question to me was, what do you want? What do you want to know? And I realized partially this was, of course, my own subconscious reflecting back on me. But isn't that the same thing as God? Because our subconscious is all directed by this higher self. And I'm not an atheist, but I'm not religious, right? I'm, I guess, agnostic by some people's point of view. But even that doesn't do it justice, because I do believe that these higher powers exist that are aware of us. There's a big difference between some people who believe the universe is alive itself, but unaware of us. I believe that we do play some part, some role in this evolution of the universe, but I don't understand how. But the message that I was asked, or that it was, what do you want to know? And the answer I had was, I don't frickin' know. Honestly, it was like the biggest epiphany I'd ever had. And I was like, I don't know, what am I supposed to be doing? And work. Just keep working. Not, of course, physical. It can be physical. It has to be sometimes. But just keep doing what you do and moving along. There's no great place to, attain. There's no level to attain. There's no state of mind or, amazing breakthrough or enlightenment that you have to achieve, but rather just living the day-to-day life, the mundane, getting things done, raising your kids, paying your mortgage, and taking time out to consider the bigger picture. Taking time out, which is something that so many people don't do. And, I always assumed when I was younger, it didn't matter. As you get older, you become more observant. But I always assumed that most people took time to just kind of sit and reflect and think. And, in the age of the internet, it's made it so much more apparent that most people don't want to and can't. We cannot sit alone with our thoughts for 5 fucking minutes and just think. We don't read anymore. I thought more people read, but this is obviously becoming apparent that it's not the case. We listen to podcasters or news tell us what we need to know, and we go about our lives, and we wonder why we're anxious. We wonder why we're unsure about things. So anyhow, I just wanted to stop and I don't want to make it on any negative note, because honestly, to me, it's all positive, right? Even the worst things that happen, even the negativities that we face in our lives, all these push us and push society to be better and to improve in a way we don't understand yet. And the only way to get there is just to keep on working. So get to work, right? I guess I should be telling myself that. Gotta go pick up the kid now. So, yeah, it's a shorter video, and that's alright. Looks like it's going to be about 7:19. Hey, that's the name of my channel. Hey, man. I'll talk to y'all next time. Peace and love.